recounts.
Oh, I'm going to kill it.
Do it, please.
Yeah.
It's apropos for a podcast about death.
Apropos.
Apropos.
What's that mean?
Like fitting. I think that's what that means.
Apropos.
Like you kill something, like the squirrel, the dead squirrel.
Yeah.
I was like, this works. This makes sense for today.
You did drop some fun words that I was listening. I was like, I don't know what that means.
When? In the previous?
Yeah,
episode? What?
yeah.
Like what?
Like just, well, I don't even remember because it didn't even sound like English.
It may not have been.
I think it was French.
Do
Do you speak French?
I don't. I speak my own like made up language sometimes, so there's a chance it wasn't a real word.
I really love that. So did my dad, actually.
Did he?
Yeah, we called them his verbal tics. Crazy man.
Do you remember? Do you have like a dictionary for this?
Yeah, sure do.
What's 1 or 2 or 3?
He would go, Jakob, yee, bee, 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 bee.
No
so if
fucking
he
way.
said Jakob, we'd go, yee, bee, 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 bee. It was really weird.
What does that mean?
I have no idea.
Jakob.
Jakob,
Where's he from?
Yonkers.
Is that North Carolina?
New York.
That's Yonkers.
Yonkers. Yeah, like a borough of one of the boroughs, I think.
Jakob.
Jakob.
Is that something that like you think his like mom and dad did or something?
No, I think he was just out of his mind.
Was he actually?
I think, yeah. I think he was.
Like diagnosed?
No, never diagnosed, but he just had like, here's another one. He would go like, Yagazoozy, 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 and we'd go, zim.
What does that mean? Like, what do you like? How do you translate that?
I think Yagazoozy was from, do you remember like the old Nick at Night shows?
Sure.
I think it was I Dream of Jeannie.
Okay.
Or Bewitched, actually,
Okay,
maybe.
sure.
And I loved Bewitched because she was Samantha Stevens. She was a witch, and I thought I was named after her, and I wasn't. But I
You
think
can pretend you are now.
I think
Who's
I
going to
can.
tell you differently?
Not my dad.
Not your dad. Not anymore. He's got no say in the matter.
I don't know. Are we recording?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah.
Dak Shepard style. I like
We're always
it.
recording.
ABC,
ABC
baby.
babes. Yep.
Yep.
I think we're good. But yeah, we're good.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Does it bother you that you see it?
No,
Okay, I'll just put it like that.
I didn't even notice.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
So it's a Nick at Night reference.
I think so.
You guys watched a lot of Nick at Night?
We watched, yeah, we were like we did. It was the summer block party back in the day so we would like, it was like every night. I think I still remember the lineup to the summer block party. It was Mary Tyler Moore Monday.
Oh, wow. Mary Tyler Moore was on Nick at Night?
Sure was. Yeah. I hated Fridays because it was Sergeant Joe. Nobody liked
I don't even know what that is. Maybe the Nick at Night I'm thinking of is maybe like like a little later.
Maybe.
So I'm thinking of like Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
That was a little later.
Yeah. And I don't even know what else. That was all I tuned in for was Fresh Prince.
Well, I think I'm a tiny bit older than you. You might have missed that.
It sounds like that.
curve.
Because I've
Yeah.
never really actually, other than clips on the internet, I've never watched Mary Tyler Moore.
It's amazing.
Is it?
Yeah.
I hear that. I've seen it. My grandma, not to put you in the same bracket as my grandma, but
That's okay.
my grandma loved Mary Tyler Moore.
I love it. I like bust out the theme song sometimes. And
How's it go?
you can turn the world on with one smile. Who could take another day and suddenly make it all seem worthwhile?
Wow.
And it's you, girl, and you should know it. With each dance and every little moment, you know,
How
love
sweet.
is all around. Oh. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was
What an
good
uplifting song.
It's good stuff.
So he kind of coined like his own language via references to Bewitched.
You know, references to like anything and everything. I think a lot of it came from his head, but like we would be eating dinner back when we were still like one family unit, and we would like eat dinner every night, and he would like just put down his utensils out of nowhere and just stick one finger up in the air like that, and we would all just have to stop and do the same thing. And like it was so normal. No one like, we didn't even bat an eye. We would all just stop and put our fingers up, and we would just like look around and we wait for my dad to put it down, and when he did, we did, and we would just continue eating. It was just,
What was the same thing? Or it was like you all had to
we
stick your
all
finger up
just
in the air.
stopped, like put our fork down and stuck our finger up in the air, and it was just so weird. He was just like always doing, like, there were just like little bits, I feel. Yeah,
that's
like
definitely what it was.
we'd be like driving in the car and he would just wave like that. And we would go, who was that? He would go, oh, I'm just practicing.
Oh my
like,
God.
We would be like like having a conversation, and he would go, oh, hello? And we'd be like, ooh, well, nothing, just practicing.
That is so funny.
I know, he was so
I can
weird.
kind of almost see a little bit of myself in that because I do a lot of weird shit like that.
I-
So part of me is like, holy shit, this is wild. But
Yeah.
also I'm like, it sounds like,
It's not that weird.
no, it's like
it's
your
not.
clan language.
But then sometimes I catch myself doing it too. I'll be like driving.
That's
I'll
awesome.
be like, oh, there it isn't. Here it's not.
There it isn't.
Here it's not.
Wow.
That's what we would do.
How big was your family or is your family?
So it's me. I'm the middle. I've got my older sister, Lindsay. She is 2 years older than me. And I've got my little sister, Riley. She's 5 years younger. And we have a half sister, Kate, from my dad's first marriage. And she played like a big part in like how his like death went down. And
What does that mean?
so I feel like I'm going to be like skipping all over the place right now, but Kate, so my dad was married before my mom and they had Kate, and my dad got divorced to Kate's mom. I think her name was Kathy, because Kathy slept with my dad's brother when he went on a fishing trip.
Oh.
So he got
Oh my
back from
God.
his fishing trip, and the fucking watch, his brother's watch, was on the nightstand, which
What a sloppy. That
so
seems
sloppy.
kind of intentional.
I know.
Like, I'll show him.
I know. So that kind of ended that, and then he met my mom, and there was an age gap by like 11 years. He was 11 years older than her, so she was like 19. He was 31 or 30. It's not that great.
Yeah.
But
Well, different time.
I think it was the 80s.
Yeah.
So I don't think.
I mean,
people
Jerry
really...
Seinfeld was like openly dating like a fucking 16-year-old or something.
Or like, how about Anthony Kiedis right now having like a 19-year-old girlfriend? I think.
Was that Red Hot Chili Peppers?
Yeah.
Oh wow, does he really?
Yeah, he's like in his 60s.
You just got to do it with confidence.
Or like Mick Jagger.
Mick Jagger, Robert De Niro,
Why? Because you're a famous musician. You can do
whatever you want.
Leonardo DiCaprio. Yeah.
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 Well, he doesn't give a fuck.
But like he should.
He probably should.
There's some people that could just get away with that, and I don't know why. I don't know. Whatever. But anyway, so
Fame and
yeah.
fortune.
Yeah. People, and then no one wants to hate Leonardo DiCaprio.
It'd be hard
he
to
gave us
do
all
that.
The good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Jerry Seinfeld's kind of easier to hate now, but he like was, and everyone was supportive of it. He was like dating like a
what's with that?
15-year. Yeah. He was like dating like a 15-year-old girl.
Was he really?
Mm-hmm. I think 15 or 16, and he was like 30 something.
Well, like, how about Woody Allen?
How about him?
Why are people still making his movies?
I don't know, because he's a good movie maker.
Kinda.
People like him. I think, and that's like, you gotta, I don't know. It's like the same reason like we still listen to Kanye West when he drops music, even though he's a fucking lunatic.
Yeah. I have controversial opinions about that. Like, I hate Drake. I hate him so much.
Drake is not good. I've never really liked him. I've never really liked him since the Forever song.
I just don't like it. I don't even know what that is. I don't even like
That's
his
like OG, like 2009
I
Drake.
get so mad when people like Drake.
People love Drake.
Really pisses me off to my core.
Although I think people love Kendrick more because he's better.
Yeah, he is.
Anyway, so your dad is dating,
minor.
everyone's doing it. Everyone's doing it.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
But yeah, he was, so he was dating my mom. He was actually, a little fun fact, he was like a coke dealer. And
Your dad was?
Mm-hmm. And my mom had like never touched it, never been around it. She was like homecoming queen, so cute. And then my dad was like this like biker, like coke dealer, so she'd be like sitting at his house and all these people would come by to buy drugs, and she was just so oblivious. She was like, wow, Michael, it's so nice you have friends stopping by. And he was like, Lisa, they're not my friends, they're buying drugs. She was like, oh,
okay, whatever.
Dangerous.
Yeah, sexy. Will you marry me?
Yeah. They actually did get, I think they were engaged in a short amount of time. I don't really know the timeline there, but it was short. It happened fast. So yeah, so that happened and popped us out. And
Popped you out after the marriage.
after the marriage, yeah, Lindsay obviously came first. And then, so we didn't know Kate at all. She kind of was not a part of our lives. After my mom and dad got divorced, we would go hang out with my dad like once a month. It was like court ordered. We didn't want to go because he never really had like a suitable living environment. So we'd go once a month. It was like never great. We really hated it. We were miserable every time we came home. We like reeked of cigarettes because he just smoked in his shoebox apartment. We begged him not to. He just like didn't. I think he was really depressed after him and my mom divorced, so I kind of give him some grace now, but at the time we just like really hated it.
Yeah,
and
that's
like,
easy to hate him.
we
for
hated
that.
him for it. Yeah. And you know, our dinner was like, oh, he took us to the gas station and would like tell us to pick out candy, and it was just like
Oofy.
not so we didn't know Kate. She would sometimes, like once in a while, she would call him like while we were there on our little court ordered weekend visit, and she would only call if she was in like distress. I think she was in a bad marriage, and so she would only call if like something really bad happened. So we didn't know Kate. We didn't know anything about her. I have like one picture of her holding me as a baby, and that's all I had. But then let's cut to like maybe 4 years ago. My dad moved from New Hampshire to North Carolina because he kind of had it in his head if he moved closer to us, we would take care of him. So he moved close to my sister.
And at this time, he's ill.
He's always been ill. He's
just
always
always been
had Crohn's disease. So his intestines have exploded inside of him 3 different times. That's definitely supposed to kill you the first time. So by the time he passed, I think he had like a quarter of his intestines left, like something crazy like that. Yeah, he had the colostomy bag. He just didn't take care of himself.
Sounds
though.
like it. Yeah, he was eating sweet tarts for dinner.
Yeah, I mean, he had alcoholism and all that stuff, and that played like a big role. I mean, he wasn't careful. But so he had the idea, I'm going to move to Raleigh. He moved close to my older sister. And at this point, she has 2 kids, a job, a husband, 3 dogs. Like he didn't get what he was expecting from us. So he, at that time, kind of reunited with Kate because Kate lives in Wilmington. And
Kate is the previous
Kate's
wife.
the half sister.
She's the half sister.
Yeah,
Okay.
Kathy's the wife.
Okay.
I would love to just know what Kathy even looks like, but I'm afraid I don't.
You don't know Kathy.
I don't know Kathy.
Wait, so Kathy is the mom of Kate?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know anything about her, but so Kate kind of reunited with my dad at this point, like found out he was back living in North Carolina. My sister Lindsay wasn't doing what he wanted or expected. He really did expect everyone to just
Drop what they were doing. and
yeah,
jump
give
in.
me money. I got dealt the shittiest hand in life. I deserve help from everyone and anyone. So we had resentment, and Lindsay did not help him in the way he wanted or expected. So Kate kind of came back into the picture and moved him to Wilmington. So he was kind of under her care, and they built their relationship back up. And so I'm glad Kate had that time with him, but she didn't like listen to us. Like we were like, hey, like put him in a home. He will do really well there. He needs socializing. He loves to be the class clown. He loves attention. He loves to be taken care of. He loves it.
Yeah.
We're like, put him in a home. I know it's unpopular opinion, but
But he'd probably thrive there.
he would have thrived.
Start selling some coke to some of the residents.
Hey, you never know. I
yeah.
think maybe just weed. He really loved weed at the
hell
end of
yeah.
his life. He loved to smoke his doobies. So she didn't listen. She instead got him his own apartment, and he lived alone, and he was depressed. And then she was like, hey, I can't afford this apartment. Can you help give us money? And we were like, nope, we told you what to do.
you guys that.
Yeah.
Wow.
And she asked for help, and we couldn't give it. Like, what do you think I'm capable of? Like, I don't have, all this money to shell out and help you. So she made some like unpopular decisions for his caretaking. And then even while he was like actively dying, he got diagnosed with like stage 4, I don't even know what stage, small cell carcinoma or single cell carcinoma. I think it's called different things. I'm really not sure. So
I never know what any of it is.
she was like, hey, he's got this. And my dad called me with, hey, I've got this. And we were like, all right, this was January. And
Of this year?
Yes, of this year. And so he was like, no chemo. I don't want chemo. I don't want to try to fight this. Like, this is how I go. And then he got his diagnosis.
How old was he?
69, 70.
This is how I go.
Yeah.
Whoa.
But then he
That's crazy.
sat with the doctors, and he got his prognosis, and it was 3 months, and he panicked. He was like, I'm not ready. Give me the chemo.
Never mind. This is not how I go.
This is not how I go. Forget it.
Not
Give me
this
the
soon.
chemo. And we were like, Father figure.
Is that what you call him?
Yeah.
Affectionately?
Father, yeah.
Sweet.
Father figure.
Father figure.
We're like, you can't do this, man. Chemo is not going to help you. It's going to be bad. So he didn't listen. We were like, Kate, don't do this. Seriously, don't pay for this chemo. And she was like, I'm going to do it. He wants to do it. Fine. First chemo just kicked him in the ass, like just knocked him out, made him, went from 0 to 50. And we were like, seriously, stop. And he didn't, and didn't listen. And it got worse. And then we got the call like, hey, he's not making it through the night. So I like packed my stuff and I got up at 4 a.m. to try to like race to Wilmington to go see him in the hospital. And I missed it. He passed at like 4:15. And so then you get to the part of like, what do we do with the body? And she didn't listen.
What did you want to do with the body?
So my dad didn't want a funeral. He didn't want an obituary. He didn't want anything. He was like, seriously, he's like, just cremate me. Split me up. I want to be on everyone's mantle. Just don't. He didn't want a fuss. So we were like, all right, we started doing research. We found like the cheapest place. Like, hey, we literally called like all these different places. Like, what's the cheapest way to get rid of a body? I'm sorry. I know it sounds so crass, but we were panicking. We didn't know what to do.
Cheapest way to get rid of a body, and then the police show up at your doorstep. And they're like, hey, your recent Google searches are a little alarming.
My feds right now are like...
Yeah, they're watching you close.
The FBI on my phone is like, what is she talking about? But so
That's so funny.
we found this place, and we got the price point on it. We told Kate, this is what we think we should do. And she did not listen.
Why is she so in charge at this point? Just because she kind of took it when he showed up?
Yeah, I think so. I think she just took charge and took him in and got him his apartment and took him to every single appointment. I mean, she really did take care of him, and I was very thankful because honestly, what would we have done? Well, we would have put him in a home, but then she took him to like the most expensive crematorium and called us and was like, hey, this is the price plan I bought and this is what we're doing. And it was an exorbitant amount of money. And we were like, Kate, no. And now she wants like $3,000 from each of us. And we were like, dude,
oh my God,
told you.
Crazy.
I know. So we didn't do it and we didn't give her. But she started like, the month before he passed, she got so mad at us because she was like, you guys are not helping. You don't even care about him. You didn't even come see him until you found out he had cancer. And we were like, well, yeah, we rushed to go see him because that's what you do. Like, it was kind of like damned if we did, damned if we didn't.
Sure.
And she stopped telling us, like, she stopped updating us on his health. We found out he was like officially stopping all treatment from like a family friend named Jimmy that we hadn't heard or seen from for 30 years. Like, Kate told Jimmy and Jimmy told us. So now we're pissed and we're like, how dare you? Like, where have you been for the past 30 years? And like, this is our dad too. And it was just like she just made a shitty situation that much shittier. So instead of just like grieving my dad and going through that and getting myself prepared for that, I was also dealing with this like wrath of this basically stranger that I didn't know and felt like she had this power over us and she loved him more than us. And you just don't even know what our life was like with him. Like, I don't know if it was jealousy on her part or like genuine like I don't know. And she has since apologized, but I just cannot bring myself.
It's a hard thing.
To,
especially because it's kind of recent still.
Yeah, it sucked. I'm like, you don't realize how much worse you made this for us.
Right.
And I don't think an apology, like a, hey, by the way, I'm like really sorry for what I said to you guys these past few months. That was really fucked up. I was just really stressed. I was just going through it. And I was like, it's not like you're apologizing to me right now for like stealing my leftovers or like crashing my car. I don't know. Like, oops, sorry. That's not an oops, sorry. You really
She intervened.
You really fucked.
Yeah.
You made it so much worse. And it was like
Well, it almost
traumatizing.
kind of sounds like with the chemo and stuff, she exacerbated the decline.
She did. And I know she thought she was listening to him. But at this point, he's basically an infant. And you have to, I don't know. It's so tricky because no one knows you don't know what to do.
And it sounds like he's not of the type of person that had like a will or anything.
No, he didn't have. I'm just lucky that medical bills die with you because we would have a multi-million-dollar issue on our hands. So, yeah, she made it worse. Forgot where I was going with that, but
she traumatized you.
She did.
Amongst what was already traumatic because your dad's dying.
Yeah, and she really did try to say like, "Oops, I'm sorry." And we were like, "It's really not okay, but let's just try to, I'm not gonna." I think I was just most mad because it was almost like my anger towards Kate like was distracting me and just kind of clouding like what I should really be concentrating on. And she was just being horrible. Like I still kind of like go back and read the one text she sent. Like it was like how could you be putting this on? It was evil to me. And she just seemed like really unstable, and it made me very nervous because she has like substance abuse problems. So she was relapsing and during this time of taking care with my dad, and she was blaming it on my dad and telling us like really fucked up stuff about him. And we were like, lady, we don't need to hear this. We have our...
She's trying to like talk ill of him while he's dealing with this stuff.
Yeah. Like, but she just like went back and forth. It was really, really weird. Like one night we just had texts from her, like absolutely freaking out. Like, I can't take care of him anymore. He's ruining my life. I'm relapsing, blah, blah, blah. And we were like, I don't know what to tell you. I can't help you.
Right. You tried to find a solution, which was put him somewhere.
Yeah. But, it ended up being okay. I mean, it is what it is at this point. I got to do what a lot of people like don't get to do, which is like, okay, I know there is an expiration date and it's coming up and I know it is. So I got to like, I would call him one day and be like, hey, tell me every story you could think of right now about this. Like I just went into a mode of like collect stories.
That's sweet.
And let him know, how much I love you. And we did a lot of that. And it was really helpful. Mm-hmm. And I'm almost like glad I didn't make it to the hospital that morning. Because who wants to like see that and like have that be your last memory? Like I don't want to close my eyes and have that. So
totally.
It worked out. He was the process, you want to know what made the process I think so weird was that like normally I think when a parent goes, you have like another parent that's like, all right, don't worry, I'm gonna
we got this.
All you have to do is worry about like grieving and going to the funeral. But like we kind of, I know we're adults, but I still don't really feel like one. So I just didn't feel equipped to.
Yeah, I mean, look at the way you're holding Benny.
I know. I'm like, are you okay?
Are you okay, sweet Benny?
I'm gonna bust a stitch.
Where's your mom?
Mom is in New York, remarried.
So this isn't like anything that she's paying attention to at the time.
No, she's feeling very sorry for us because she lost her dad in her 20s, and it was like really tragic. He died very young. He had a heart attack at like 48.
Oh.
Died while driving, pulled over and died.
Wow.
Like a day before my older sister's first birthday. So there's like a lot of, my mom felt really bad for us, but it was more for us, not for him.
Sure.
But yeah, she's remarried. She's chilling.
But she's not here to like, I mean, she feels for you, but she's not holding your hand through any of this.
No, she's not. Sorry.
Can you pull the mic just a hair closer to you?
Yeah. Like that? Is that better?
I think that's great.
Okay.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Perfect.
Does it travel all by itself?
What do you mean?
Like, does it like...
I don't know, but you can also lower it. You can do whatever you want with it. But I did notice that it was kind of, it was kind of gravitating away.
Right? Wasn't it?
Maybe the house is leaning.
Don't say that.
It's not.
It's brand new.
Yeah. Well, who knows what's built on? That's great. So your mom's not holding your hand. You don't have anyone to reach for other than your sisters, which it sounds like you kind of are tight with.
Yeah, super tight with my sisters. My uncle was a really big help at that time too.
Your dad's bro.
My mom's bro, actually.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love that.
Uncle John.
Uncle Johnny.
He's a very cool person.
That's sweet.
Yeah, he lives in Raleigh with his wife Amanda. They're just so awesome. Really like prepared to do whatever they could to help us, because at that point we weren't wanting to deal with Kate. She was like a scary to talk to.
Yeah, that's kind of intense.
Yeah, so my Aunt Amanda was like, you know what? Why don't you just give me her number and I'll be like, hey, I'm going to talk now to you for the girls.
I love Auntie
like,
Amanda so much.
They're so cool. So we did have support. It just, it's a little different. It wasn't like the normal, like, oh my God, my dad was like so amazing and strong and blah, blah, blah. Now he's gone. Like it was, it was a weird dynamic.
Yeah.
And like buying Father's Day cards, I could never, like, like you go to the grocery store and you're like reading all these cards and it's like, Dad, today I want you to sit back and relax and for once.
Yeah, for once. Finally, take a load off, Pops.
You've been taking care of me my whole life and now, so, there's layers. It's complicated, but it doesn't really change anything at the end of the day.
Still your poppy.
He was my dad and he was fucking hilarious. And he's like really half my personality. Like I find myself busting out these verbal tics of his.
Yadka? Is that what you said?
Yakob.
It almost sounds like Yiddish. I don't know what Yiddish is, but it sounds like another language.
Gibberish. Do you know that Blues Brothers song, Rubber Biscuit?
No.
Oh my God.
I know the one. I know it's like Soul Man.
Okay.
From Drake and Josh.
You
That's all I know.
should listen to Rubber Biscuit one day. It's really funny. It's like a nonsense song.
Okay.
And like the chorus is like, hey, bada, 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 hey, bada, bada, bada. He knew like every single syllable to that song
That's so
perfectly.
funny.
Like he was just like full of nonsense, useless information. And that's exactly how I feel about myself.
Yeah.
I think I'm full of useless information.
I mean, that's valuable. I feel like him, I don't know. It's nice that he almost kind of like set you up with like a sense of humor to approach some of this difficult shit.
Totally. Super weird sense of humor. But I'm thankful for it. It's like I don't know about you, but like I don't ever want to be anything like my dad. And it's kind of my mom too. But then I look down sometimes and I'm like, shit, I'm exactly like them.
Yep.
It's inevitable.
Yeah. My dad his name's Dave, and I always called him Dave.
Big Dave.
Big Dave. And my brother and I always referred to like his little, what you're calling verbal tics, as Daveisms.
Okay.
So it's just like nonsense, kind of annoying, like older brother, like bully, like not giving you a wedgie, but almost kind of giving you a wedgie, like going to that point, like he was like growing up. We were like a younger brother to him.
Yeah.
And so I know that like my goal in my life has always been to try and figure out a way to be the best parts of my dad while also being the best parts of my mom, but avoiding the things that I don't like about either.
I know. And
it's tricky.
It's sad that like most of the things I see of them in me are negative things. And I don't mean that in a way to hurt their feelings, but it's true. Like, especially like if I lose my patience or if I get anxious or like mad or lose my temper, I sound exactly like them. And I catch myself. I'm like, oh,
like, yuck.
This ends with us.
Yeah. You fucking hope so, but I don't know. That like ancestry is deeper than I think. Like you can really try, but there's things that are like encoded in you, I think.
Yeah, I do. Like my dad had like bad skin, like psoriasis and stuff. So I get like really pissed or upset if I find like a patch on me.
Oh God, just lotion, just rub lotion on it.
For the love of God, please. Yeah,
that's funny.
I know.
Did he have a tragic upbringing, do you think?
I don't think it was tragic. I think it was strict. Like he went to like a religious school and like nuns taught him, and I think it was kind of, like they were brutal back in the day. I think he would always say, like, they would take me by the ear and slam my head against the chalkboard.
Oh my
so
God.
he always said, like,
well, that explains some things.
yeah. And him and my mom was very uncomfortable with religion because her side of the family was like Italian Catholic crazy. So I think both of them were very uncomfortable with religion. So they always said, like, my kids are never going to be exposed to that, like the church and all that. So we were not raised religious. And so I think he had like a little bit of a complex there, but I don't know, his parents, like, they were married until death.
Oh, wow.
And I don't really know a whole lot. I mean, he had a sister, Nancy, who died from leukemia in the 70s. So I think that was really...
That's something.
Yeah, that was like trauma for them. But they were like a really, like, everyone's always talked about like ghosts super freely, like both on my mom and dad's side.
Ghosts.
So yeah, ghosts. Like they were convinced
Cool.
that like Nancy, the aunt who died of leukemia, she was at like every sit down holiday. Like they swore the chandelier would swing when they sat down for dinner, and no one would even be scared. They would just go, "Hi, Nancy," and they would eat. Like,
wow,
it was.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I don't.
Hi, Nancy.
Hi,
Quit
Nancy.
fucking with our chandelier.
Yeah, they're just
I
like,
swear
hey.
to God, if you break that thing. That's so fun.
My sister swears it was the plant that swung, but I swear it was the chandelier. But
is that where you lean? Do you lean into the supernatural stuff or whatever you want to call it?
Totally. Yeah. It's comforting. My dad swears he promised that he would haunt us.
That's so funny. That's so sweet.
It hasn't happened yet. I'm fucking pissed.
Well,
like,
it's still, what's that, 9 months ago? How long ago was that?
March 9th he died.
Oh, it was March.
March 9th, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
So it is fresh.
Yeah.
I'm sure he'll show up.
I hope so.
But also, like, how much of that is like, because if his sister died amongst, like, I'm sure she died close to the house or near the house or something, maybe.
I think so.
I don't know how that
sure.
works in the 70s. But, like, do you think it's a proximity thing? Like, do you think you have to be near where he died? Or is it, like, can ghosts travel, like, via the interstate and get to you?
I'm hoping
and haunt
it's
you?
the latter.
I hope so, too.
I really do. I think maybe it's because I don't have his ashes yet. I'm actually in the process of getting them from Kate, the half-sister.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Here we go.
I know. It took me a very fucking long time to work up the nerve to ask them, but she was lovely about
She's probably
it.
going to give you, like, oh, was she?
Yeah. She was like, I called her and I left her a voicemail. I was like, hey, can you please call me? And I think it freaked her out. And she was like, hey, what? And I was like, I'm just wondering if we can get some of his ashes.
Where's my daddy?
Yeah. I'm like, can you just USPS that guy? Like, a little weird about it. But she was like, oh my God, I'm actually so relieved you asked. I was worried you guys wouldn't want him. And I was like, no, I would like just a little bit.
Yeah.
Like a
like a vial.
Yeah, just do it.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping once his ashes are kind of in my possession,
That may have something to it.
I have no idea, but I'm getting worried it's not like possible. I don't know. Maybe only some people can haunt and stay put.
Well, I also wonder how much of, like, yeah, I don't think I'll ever have anything like that.
You don't?
But I think it's because I think that. You know what I mean?
What do you mean?
Like, I don't have an openness to it.
You don't?
Not really.
Okay.
I don't have, like, I don't believe, like, when people show me, like, even the most, I've seen, like, our neighbors here have this crazy video of it certainly seems like a ghost. It's like a really bizarre video, but I still am like, yeah, but, like, is there a mirror nearby? I'm like the kind of guy that wants to poke holes. I'm a skeptic.
Okay.
And I ruin
That's
some
fine.
things that are fun. It makes me feel, I like totally shit on people's fun stuff. It makes me feel weird. I'm like, that is a creepy video. I'll have to, I've been thinking about that video a lot. I want to get it and share it with people because it's weird.
I would like to see it.
It's a strange video. It's like 7 seconds, but it's very strange.
I like get off on this shit.
That's
I
wild.
love it. Yeah.
I think old me, like, there used to be a very young, angsty, atheist version of Dylan that was like,
Sure.
would shit on everything from God to ghosts to anything.
Pre-trauma, Dylan.
No, post-trauma.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've had a traumatic situation. My mother died when I was 16, and that was like big time. But that made me very much like, how could there possibly be a God if he would they would take away
I think that every day.
a teenager's mother.
Yeah.
You know, fuck you.
Yeah.
And then at some point it kind of evolved. And now I'm like, I certainly don't believe in like a Christian God or anything like that, but I think there's more going on than we know and have like vocabulary for.
Sure.
Now me is very much like, you know, I see my dead people behind my eyes in a way.
Okay.
That doesn't feel ghostly. Like I don't feel like they're actually here, but I know that they're here within me.
The energy, if you will.
Yeah, the memory of them creates enough energy inside me to be like, oh, that's right. Like, and there's certain nights and certain days where it's stronger than others.
Yeah.
I would love to have an openness to be able to like be haunted. I think it'd be cool.
Do you dream about them? Do they come to you?
They used to come to me very frequently. My mom especially. I see my brother every once in a while.
Okay.
It's seldom, but it happens.
Are they together when it happens or?
Not usually.
Okay.
Usually separate.
All right.
Why? Should they be?
No. I'm just curious because I'm big into like, my mom is as well, into like if you dream of them, it's their way of coming and saying hi.
Yeah.
Because her dad, passed when she was 24, and she swears she has this annual dream where he comes into her actual bedroom, like nothing's different in the dream. She's like in her bed, she sees herself, he comes in through the door, hugs her, tell her she's doing a great job, and leaves. So and she wakes up and smells his cologne like in the room.
Oh, no way.
Swear, yeah.
Wow.
She's not really like a woo-woo person, no religion, but I do understand what you're saying though, because I do think the biggest part of my brain is like, come on, when you die it's black. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You don't know it. I'm not afraid of it. You don't know it. You're asleep and it's fine.
It's
and
whatever
it sucks
you were
for everyone
doing
around you.
Totally. It's whatever you were doing before you were doing this.
Yeah. Like I have friends that are petrified. Edwina is
most people
petrified of dying.
Are very, very scared.
I am not in the slightest afraid of dying.
Were you scared before your dad died?
No.
Okay.
I've always been very afraid of people around me dying.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to go through that. I would just prefer to be the first to go out of
that would be the best case scenario
in my world.
Yeah. I don't want to outlive people.
Please, God.
Which I'm actively doing. I've been outliving people since I was 16. I'm like really good at it at this point. I'm like, yeah, I'll just be here.
Yeah,
whatever. See you guys in the next thing.
I would love to go first. Yeah. But I mean, I know it's not. So I've just been petrified, like my sisters especially, and now my nephews. Like I just, that's what I'm afraid of. I'm not afraid. I mean, who knows what's going to happen? But I just know that my dad, he said, if it's possible, I will do it. And I promise you, I will do it. So now I'm just kind of like waiting for it.
Yeah, he's working on it.
Maybe.
He's like going to come to you with some sort of like gibberish nonsense. And you'll be like,
I'm sure he's just pissed I don't have his ashes yet or something. I don't know.
That's also something like to me, we got my brother's ashes and, I think there's a lot of symbology in like, we did a road trip and spread them in the mountains of Colorado. And it was really beautiful and stuff.
That.
And it was wonderful.
Yeah.
Really great. Very potent for us as a family.
Yeah.
But I didn't feel like inside that vial was anything other than like debris.
Okay.
It was like bone debris.
So you don't have any of it now? Mm-mm. Really?
My grandma has some. And now that we're talking about it, I had a thought a minute ago. I was like, maybe I should get some.
Yeah.
Should have some up here.
Well, my dad was very anti being scattered. He was like, I swear to God, if you put me in a fucking ocean with those critters. He really did say. It was one of the last things he said was, funny. Do not put me in a body of water.
What did he want?
Oh, I think he just wanted everyone to have a little part of him and just keep it there.
So
like
he can haunt everyone all at once.
He just wants to haunt everybody. I kind of want, I'm just going to like, I'm not going to like Folger cup him like Big Lebowski style, but I'll put him in a little spice jar. I tried asking Wax, the Facebook group. If anyone
has that?
Wax, West Asheville Exchange Facebook group. It's like a Asheville
I've heard of that
community thing where people you basically just bitch and fight with each other.
Yeah, that's what Facebook's for.
Sometimes you ask for recommendations, and I just threw it out there like, hey, not to be morbid, but does anyone have anything like fun and different ideas to do with ashes? And everyone was just so annoying and boring about it. Oh, just scatter them. Oh, make a piece of I was like, I'm asking for something original. I'm over it. I don't want anything original anymore. just
have them.
Yeah, that's fine.
They do. There's a company that presses them into
vinyl.
Oh, cool.
What were you gonna say?
Into stone, like stones and stuff. You could like get them pressed into like a something.
Like a rock.
Yeah, like a thing, like like a totem.
Okay, I
But
thought
the
you were.
vinyl's cool as shit.
I thought you were going to say vinyl. Yeah, they press it into a vinyl, and so they say when you play the vinyl,
Creepy.
the crackling is like the ash.
Whoa.
I know.
Wow.
I think my dad would.
That'd be cool.
Love
That's
that.
like him having to haunt you like on autopilot.
Yeah.
He can just haunt you and he doesn't have to do any work.
I do think he would like that. I was thinking of maybe a guitar pick because I have his acoustic Fender.
Oh, sweet.
Which it's like tragic that I don't know how to play it, but he was super into music. His passion was guitar and singing, and I think it's really what kept him sane, like living alone and just being like really depressed and sad and lonely. But he would like call me playing guitar, and he like would not speak until I correctly guessed what song he was playing on the guitar.
He is such a trolly,
So quirky.
weirdo.
Such a trolly weirdo. It's a
so
perfect
fun.
way to put it. Yeah.
He's like trolling you. My dad does and did similar things where he just kind
Really?
of does. When we were on the road trip spreading my brother's ashes, we were driving through Denver, and it was like we were going from wherever to wherever. And one of us, I don't know, one of us was driving, and my dad just kind of kept like pointing out the window, and he just kept pointing. And we'd be like, huh. And then he would go like, he would wave, and he would just do these like gestures, and no one really,
that's
and
my
we just
dad.
didn't really think about anything. We were like, okay, I don't know what he's doing. He's just
Yeah.
doing whatever he's doing. And then we get to the place we're going, and he's like, I win. And we were like, what? And he's like, silence contest. I won. We're like, oh, that
I
and then
didn't know I was playing.
you think back to like the whole drive, and you're like, oh, we were playing the fucking silence contest. You shit.
Yeah. I feel so annoying sometimes because like something my dad used to do is if we were like looking for something, I think I said this earlier, and I do it to my friends, like we're looking for something and I'll go, oh, here it isn't. Oh, there it's not. And it drove
so
us.
Dr. Seussy.
I would get so infuriated with him. And then I hear
Now
him
you're doing it.
doing it to my friends when
Yeah.
we're looking for something. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I literally cannot even help it. It's like word vomit. Yeah, unfortunately.
It's part of you. It's like within you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm thankful for it.
Yeah. And that's great. That's sweet to
Yeah.
be able to like carry that with you. And
Yeah.
and hopefully that's like, oh, I'm taking like all the best parts of my dad
Yeah.
and leaving the not so great things behind.
Well, that's like kind of what's made it so hard because I'm very aware of all the crazy, like bad dad stuff he did. And I kind of have some like imposter syndrome from it because sometimes I'm like, am I worthy of this grief? Because he gave us like such a hard time. And I know like a lot of family members, not a lot of family members, but there were a few people who kind of made us feel like someone actually did say like, well, you didn't even really like him sometimes. Or like, well, didn't you go a year without talking to him?
Oh my God.
And I'm like, do you guys? So then that kind of got in my head. I was like, damn, you're right. I did not speak to him for a year. I did wish at times he would just die already and just be gone. Like he was depressing. He made really weird choices, really bad choices sometimes. And it just wasn't great. But I reject that for myself because he was my dad. He raised me. He was obsessed with us. He just was messy. And I hate to be like a cliche, but like, aren't we all just doing life at the exact same time? Like, I know he wanted to be good. And I just think he did. I don't know. I think he did the best he could. Could have been better.
Sure.
But I just really hate that like nagging feeling in the back of me that just kind of makes me feel like I have no right to be as sad as I am. Or I know you're looking at me like, what the fuck?
No, I it's sad that you have those thoughts, and it's sad that like your family was like, would even say something like that.
Well,
Like, you haven't even talked to him in a year. You don't even deserve to cry, bitch.
I know.
Like, that's crazy.
There were like close people
So
that
fuck
said
that.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
We
thanks.
like stopped talking to some people. We were like, all right, you're not. Yeah.
Well, I've found that people really show their true colors, like Kate. You know, like when people are dealing with like the death of their whoever, they become not everybody. This isn't a general rule, but I feel like it's easy to be selfish. It's kind of easy to say cunty things.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, you're like, oh, we're not really friends anymore, or we're not this anymore, or
Yeah.
that, or whatever. And then on the other side of your grief, or on the other side of like, when the dust settles, you're like, these people aren't around anymore. And that's like, it's like your dad died, but then also all these relationships with these fuckers are gone too.
Well, you said something. I was listening to your previous recordings this morning, and you said something that resonated with me because I have been trying to find a way to put it into words, and you did it. And I'm not going to be able to give you a verbatim right now, but you said it. And it's something about how like there's like pre you and like post, like you said like the you that had a mom, like you died with your mom.
Mm-hmm.
Like you are like, there's like pre-death and post-death. Like that part of me that had a mom and a dad alive, like is no longer, like I changed you, and you don't realize it. You don't notice until one day you wake up and you're like, oh, I am part of that club.
Yeah.
And I'm different now. And it's kind of hard to like connect sometimes. Like I'm finding that new me. But even like talking to you, I have imposter syndrome because I'm like, my grief is my 70-year-old sick father died.
Sure.
He didn't take care of himself. Yours is like, wait, you lost your mom way too young. Your brother? Are you fucking kidding me? I'd be in a padded room right now.
Yeah.
So
I think I'm still in a padded room, like a
in your
metaphorical padded room.
But you're doing great. And I just think like it's not comparable, but I can't help but compare it.
Sure.
And there are just people with way bigger grief out there. Like,
yeah. Oh my God. Yeah.
If
we were talking to someone yesterday and she was telling me about a friend of hers whose twin died. And I'm like, that's like, and Lauren's a twin.
Yep.
And so I'm like, I don't like the version of Lauren, like God fucking forbid that she ever loses her twin.
I have to actually knock on something really quick.
Knock on it. There's wood everywhere.
I did a little tap 3 times.
Well, that's like metal.
It doesn't knock on wall.
Okay, drywall works.
Yeah.
Nelly girl.
Nelly.
Hey, Nelly. Nelly girl, it's okay, baby. It's okay.
What a little guard dog.
Yeah, she's ready. That's okay.
Sorry.
Okay. No, we had to.
I know.
We had to do it.
But yeah, that's...
I'm like, fuck me. Like, I love my brother. Him and I were very close in our own way, but we still weren't like that close as much as I would have loved to have been. But your twin is like, and Lauren said it tragically last night. She was like, that's like part of you. That's like actually part of you. Like
connected.
You guys are like of the same thing.
Yeah. Do they have like twin telepathy?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think certain times like they communicate in a way that is unlike any other relationship I witness.
Yeah.
So we can always, I think, compare our grief to other people's,
Sure.
but that doesn't, I don't know how valuable that is.
I know. And it's like weird the physical tolls that it takes on you too. Like I don't know if this is connected, but like my dad died, I got like cystic acne for the first time in my life and like gained like 10 pounds, which I thought was impossible for me to do. Like just weird shit where you're like, oh, this is like, is my actual DNA change? Like, does it chemically fucking change you?
I think it might.
And that's how it's like coming out. I don't know. I got sciatica. I have fucking sciatica.
Now?
Yeah.
Wow.
Like bad. And I just.
That's your back thing.
Yeah.
Lower back.
Yeah, but it like moves into my like butt cheek.
Oh, Jesus.
I know. It's so weird. But, it's getting. I don't know if it's getting easier or not.
The grieving.
Yeah. It's like different every day.
Yeah.
You can like burst into tears at the most random thing. And I'm embarrassed by it. Last night, me and Rachel put on this movie Breakdown starring Kurt Russell. Oh, and wonderful. I watched that movie with my dad growing up a lot, and I hadn't watched it in like 20 years. And we put the movie on last night, and I just got hit with this like, oh my God, I wish I could tell my dad I'm about to watch this movie right now. He would flip out and be so excited. And I said it out loud, and Rachel's like, he probably just knows.
Oh.
I was like, does he?
Yeah.
Dylan's like, no, he doesn't.
I mean, I don't know. I go through phases where part of me is like, part of me thinks totally.
Yeah.
Like they're there with you. I used to be like, right after my brother died, the first season of this is so much of me believing things that I'm like, man, like, I don't know if it was just like a serious stage of denial that I just was in. That's kind of what, I don't like to say that because then I feel like I'm like diluting past me, but
Sure.
the original podcast is very much like me. I was like gung-ho and like psyched about grief because I felt very high. I felt like I was high on it.
Interesting.
It was like 6 months of like, it was devastating and it was hard as hell, but it was like emotions that I was very emotional when my mom died, but my brother died, which is way different.
That was my next question for you, actually. How did it like prep you? That's a bad word to use, but
I feel prepped now.
yeah.
Like I feel
Bring it on.
I'm like the most patient person on planet Earth now.
Yeah.
Like you could kind of, not really. There's certain like
Buttons.
Nelly chewing on a dead squirrel this morning made me very annoyed. And I was like, come on. But I think I could probably handle mostly anything. But I said that before. And I think there was prep there, but also they're interconnected a little bit. My mom's death, my brother's death. I think my mom dying just like when that happened, my brother, it was like his demise was inevitable, which is upsetting to think about and sad and makes you wish you'd done more to be there.
Yeah.
You know? But I did feel prepped. When you're going through those like motions and like the throes of it all, there's so much going on, I think, chemically in your brain that like, I think you do have like a higher likelihood to like see God, quote unquote. And like when I came home after all the hubbub, because it was like, it wasn't just like, oh, my brother died. Okay, see, it was like, I got the call. He was in a coma for 2 weeks. And then and it was like those 2 weeks felt like fucking eternity.
You said it was alcohol induced? Wow.
Yeah.
That must take a lot of alcohol.
Yeah. Well, so it's weird. I don't really say this a lot, but it was like, he was like a bubbling alcoholic, drank every day, crazy, like crazy amount of booze. Like I went when I did like my little tour, like room tour after he died, it was fucking nuts. It was like clothes in the corner of his room, and underneath the clothes was like paper bags, Smirnoff bottles, receipts, change from the purchase, just like hidden every under his, I've like forget about this, probably repressed it, under his sink in the bathroom, in the shower, every fucking where in his room.
Hidden on purpose?
Hidden from himself, hidden from
Interesting.
his roommates. Like he wouldn't let people in his room.
Oh, wow.
All very clear signs something was going on, but
Yeah.
nothing ever happened. And I've had to do a lot of like work on forgiving people.
Yeah.
And crazy. So he's drinking, and then I think he decides to stop drinking. And apparently, I never knew this, but apparently that's a big no-no. You don't do it on your own.
Yeah.
If you're like an actual addict, you need to like do a proper withdrawal and et cetera, and do it safely. And so he goes to the hospital and he like checks himself in, totally delusional. They start pumping him with Ativan. And then I get the call later, but my dad gets the call at like 3 a.m. that he coded, dies basically. They bring him back to life, and then he's in a coma.
Okay.
So signs were like looking good. Like it looked like he'd like taken the proper precautions and he was gravy. And then kind of all of a sudden he goes into a coma. So, you know, for a while
man.
I was like, malpractice. But it's hard to say. I don't know.
Yeah. I think we were really, really prepped for him to die. And in fact, we would joke that my dad was like a cockroach, we called him, because we were like, there's no killing this fucking
it's
man.
not gonna happen.
No, like first time his intestines exploded, like just bounce back. I think he had like a surgery. The surgery went wrong when I was like 17, and he died. He was dead. He got blessed by a priest for some reason, and we went to say goodbye, and he was yellow when we left, and we were like, all right, that's it. And then he was in a coma for I think maybe 6 weeks, maybe. Yeah, like he woke up to a different year, and he sued the hospital and lost, of course. But yeah, like I can't even tell you how many times we got like hey, dad's in the hospital and he's dying. We were like, so eventually it was kind of like Boy Who Cried Wolf. We were like, yeah, right. And then he got the cancer diagnosis, and we were like, yeah, right. Like, watch, this man is going to beat single cell carcinoma at 70 years old. But I think he would have, lasted a little bit longer without the chemo. But we went to go see him when he got the diagnosis, which is Kate ended up throwing in our face. That, like, how dare you go see him just because he got a diagnosis? But we were like, yeah, no fucking shit.
Right.
So me and my sister came down from New York. We all met at Lindsay's. We all drove to Wilmington. We all spent the day with my dad. We had the kids, my sister's boys. And Kate was there, and it was the first time he ever had all of us in a room together. And we just kind of hung out with him. And when we were leaving, it was almost like we were not there for what we were there for. We were just pretending it was just a normal day.
Right.
And I will just like never fucking forget. It was time to leave, and he got panicked. You're leaving? And we were like, yeah, we're leaving. We have to go, blah, blah, blah. The kids were getting fussy. And I just like looked down at him, and he looked up at me, and his like mouth, like just like started quivering. And he was like, no, please, like I need to see you again. And I was like, no, I promise, like I'm going to see you again. And I'm kind of glad that was the last time I saw him, but like I think we both knew, but I like lied to him, like right to his face, like I promise you I'll see you one more time. And it's he was like a little baby.
Yeah.
Like he really did just go back to like infantry. Is that a word? And it's just like so weird to like, you really are like, you come into this world like a baby, and you really do just leave a baby. And I had just lost my childhood best friend a couple months before that. My friend Julianne like dropped dead out of like nowhere in January. It was just hard. Like the whole, like losing like a friend that you've known since you were like 8 years old. Like I took family vacations with her. And so that kind of like prepped me a little bit, I think. But yeah, I kind of can't, I guess like if I close my eyes and he's not in like a hospital bed, I don't know what's worse. I don't know.
What do you mean?
Like now I kind of like, I think about my last time. I don't know if you do this too. Like if you can even remember like the last interaction you had with your mom or Damien, or what it was like, or what you got to like say or do. But I just don't know what is worse, like my memory of him, like looking down at him and him like begging me not to leave him and being like a scared little thing, or like him like unconscious in a hospital room on morphine, like not even knowing what the fuck is going on.
I think the mouth quivering thing is probably better, because I think that gives you a lot more like sympathy for him.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, you're just a human dude.
Just a baby.
That like really tried, and you loved us, like you said, like he was obsessed with you, and that's so sweet.
Yeah.
And you made some bad choices, and it sucks.
Yeah.
But like you have this memory of him where you're like, you can give him a little bit of grace.
Yeah.
Like you were my daddy.
Yeah.
And you did everything you could.
Yeah. I think like his voice is just kind of what like carried. He would go girly girls and like sing girly girls to us. He was just so like almost like so pathetic. It was adorable.
Yeah.
In a sick way. Like he was just very, there were just a lot of layers. I don't know. Being a human is so fucked up. Life is really so hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's different than everything else. Like it's nice because we have all these things. Like we get to do this, and it's comfortable, and it's nice, and we get to eat Philly cheesesteaks, and you know, like all these really great things. But then it's like, at what fucking price?
Yeah.
We have to like watch everyone we know and love die around us.
I know, but it's annoying to say because it's true, but it's we are kind of living like the American dream. I was saying that to all my friends on the boat yesterday because everyone was like bitching about something. And I was like, yo,
you're on a boat on a lake. Of course you're going to feel that way.
We live in a place where we can go do this for the day, though.
Yeah.
Like there is a beautiful lake we can go to surrounded by mountains and gloriousness. And we can just rent a boat for $70 a person and they just let you take your boat too. They're like, hey, everyone ever drive one of these things before?
Yeah. And you're like,
this is how you do it.
Works like a car, right? Sorta.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's great. I mean, I think that's important. I think that like gratitude for life and stuff is good, and we often forget about it. I mean, I'm guilty of it all the time.
Yeah.
I'm like bitching about nothing. And I'm like, wait, what am I saying right
What
now?
am I bitching about?
Like, why am I focusing on the thing that bothers me?
I'm driving in my car
Yeah.
in the Blue Ridge Mountains.
Yeah.
What the fuck am I sad about?
It's pretty awesome here.
I know, it really is.
We have like a very special place
I
that
agree.
we live on.
Yeah.
And I am going to continuously bitch about homelessness and taxes and all the things that drive me nuts about this place. But at the same time, we live in like somewhere that is like, in my opinion, I've seen a lot of the U.S. It's like one of the most beautiful places in the nation.
I agree. And I haven't seen nearly as much as I'd like, but yeah, I mean, we're not in Israel.
Yeah.
There are so many bigger fucking problems.
Yeah. Imagine if you had to like worry about like a missile coming through your house or your neighborhood.
Or yeah. No, I actually can't.
No, it's impossible to fathom that because that's fucking crazy.
Yeah. So I feel weird and selfish and stupid sometimes, but
I mean, you can't help it.
no, you can't.
I mean, you can't help your selfishness, but you can't help where you were born
No.
and your circumstances.
Yeah. I get like a lot of like anxiety. Like I feel like I get nervous that like, you know, that feeling like the night after you, or like the morning after you party and you're like, did I talk too much last night? Did I overshare? And you have that like bad feeling hanging over you.
Sure.
I hope I don't have that when I leave here.
You won't. Okay. The goal is I talk all the time.
Yeah.
Like I do this by myself all the fucking time.
I love that.
So the goal is to let other people come in because I can get blinders on with my own situation. And like you're saying, like for a while, like my grief was the grief.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm grieving my brother. Fuck you.
Yeah. It's like your whole personality.
Totally.
I used dead cards several times.
Yeah. Well, you still can. You have like, I've said it on here before, the 3-year mark, not to like give you a terrible outlook, but
You said it was rough.
the 3 years for some reason was like, I was like ready to blow my head off. I was like, this is stupid. I was like, I can't believe I'm still dealing with this.
Yeah.
But then you think about, I was 25 at the time. I had 25 years of brother life. Like we slept in the same room for fucking however long. And
Yeah.
shared countless, like he was literally part of like my psyche. And then I had 3 years of not that. So 3 years is like a fraction of the time. So that's something a coworker said to me once before, actually about a breakup. He was like, what percentage of the time you guys had together do you think you need not with them in order to get over it or get on with it or heal from it?
Yeah. I don't think there's any getting through it. Yeah.
Yeah, you keep just doing it.
For sure.
It's always the deal now.
Maybe it's because I remember you said, I listened to that part where you said, like, man, you think after 3 years it'd be okay. Yeah. But it's even maybe hits you harder. Maybe it's because when it's like the first 6 months or first year, you can tell yourself like, oh, maybe they'll be back. Mm-hmm. It's only been a year. And then like the longer the time goes on, maybe the more real it gets. You're like, oh, fuck.
You want to hear something fucked up?
Yeah.
Somebody said to me.
Tell me. Yeah.
Let me hear it. Someone said to me once, and this was like right after he died, and she said, you know what's weird? You'll probably live longer without him than you lived with him. And I was like,
fuck.
Huh. Okay.
Thanks.
That's that doesn't really make me feel much better.
Or like you're going to be, one more birthday and you're going to be older than he ever got to be.
Yeah. I'm officially.
Are you there?
I think so. Cause it was 2020. He had just turned, he didn't even turn 30. He didn't even turn 30. Isn't that weird? That's stupid.
Among other things. Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's not fair.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
it's frustrating. It's still frustrating.
Yeah.
4 years in, I'm still like, I have the same things that happen to me where like, I'll watch something or I'll listen to something or I'll say a stupid joke to myself. Mm-hmm. I've come up, he used to say this stupid thing. He would just go, Oofenstein. And no one knows. It's just kind of a nonsense thing. But I officially decided that's the name of like my production company.
I love that. Oofenstein. Let me try to spell that. Oofenstein. U or O-O?
I think 2 O's. I think 2 O's is...
O-O-F-F.
O-U-F would be like oof.
Oof.
Whereas oof is more like whimsical and stupid.
O-O-F-F? E-N?
O-O, oofin, yeah. Oofenstein.
Ste. Yeah, I like that.
Oofenstein.
Wolfenstein.
It's like somewhat. Yeah, it's very, very cartoonish and dumb.
I love that.
But he would say that and stupid shit like that. I'm like, God, that's dumb and that's silly. And I love that. And I want to share that. I want to call him and be like, dude, check out this dumb thing I just thought of.
What I did for you. Yeah.
But there was a thing I listened to, a piece, whatever, that talked about how when like radio first emerged, it was like kind of like magic, and everyone was like, what the fuck is this? Like where does this recording live? And so, and it was all kind of amongst the Spanish flu in 1918 or whatever. And so a lot of people saw it as like this space where it was like in between life and death. And so I like to think that when I'm in here and I'm talking in to the space like this, that it's like there's a presence and I can kind of talk to whoever I want.
Yeah.
You know?
You never know.
It feels like a scientific way to be like, this is maybe like purgatory in here.
Purgatory.
Like it's just a space where stuff is.
Yeah.
Or isn't. It's like the ether.
Yeah. The internet's a weird place. You can't visualize it. Where does it go?
Yeah.
It's just going to live. Anyone can find it. Yeah.
It's just there.
It's hard.
Yeah.
But this is very therapeutic.
Isn't it nice?
Yeah.
Especially in that chair.
Yeah, and the Squishmallow. I'm buying this guy.
I do the solo episodes in the chair, and it's just
kind of kick your feet up, write some new steps maybe. Steps you're
new
feeling
steps
today.
To getting shredded.
Yeah, the shredded
plan.
I think I'm on step 3.
Of getting shredded. Yeah. What's your like? I mean, it's still fresh.
Yeah.
What have you found to be comforting, other than like talking gibberish to yourself?
Comforting. I don't know. I think the comfort changes. Like, I thought music would be comforting, and there are certain songs that are just so my father that, like, if I even heard the first chord right now, I would just lose my shit. I just can't do it. So, comforting, I think sometimes it's listening to his voicemails.
That's sweet.
That's
to have that.
Yeah. Sometimes it's just like pictures. I have so many fucking pictures, like really cool ones, just of all stages of his life, of us. I think just like what's most comforting is knowing that like I'm just knowing that I'm doing it and fairly well, I would say, is finding me comfort. Like I think he would be proud. Maybe like a little, I think there's like a selfishness or like narcissism to him. Absolutely. Where like he just wants you to cry every day. So maybe I'm not crying enough, but it just changes. I don't know what I feel like I can be on like step 7 tomorrow, and then the next day I'm back at 1.
Oh, yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's what I tell a lot of people. It's very much not a linear
thing. Yeah. There's going to be worse.
Oh, yeah.
So this was I always knew this was going to be my first big death, was my dad, because we've been prepping.
Although your childhood friend is kind of nuts.
Ugh, man. I know.
That's a crazy one.
I know. I think she had like, I think she was septic, to be honest. She had like a weird infection in her leg, stood up to go to the doctor, and like collapsed and died in front of her husband. Yeah.
Wow.
Isn't
that crazy that stuff happens? And then like, you and I can say to each other right now, like, man, life is so short. You really got to like take every day and grab it by the nuts. And then I'm going to go and like, in 15 minutes, I'm going to go downstairs and
drop. Well, you're not.
Well,
you're fucking not.
I don't know what your plan is, but no, like, we can have these feelings, we can have these moments, pretty much constant reminders every day that we're like frail and fragile, and people die all the time for no fucking reason out of nowhere. Mm-hmm. And you can tell yourself all day long that like, oh my God, like life's short, like we should really take advantage of this. But like, I still do the same things.
Yeah.
Like I still find myself like I'm still going to go fuck off later and eat Doritos or whatever it is.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm not, it's those moments are powerful and potent and amazing. And I think like my brother dying totally changed my life. And I think like the way I just live now is better and different. However, I still haven't like changed like the core things. Like I could see that as like a moment to like drop everything and go and travel the world or whatever it is that your thing is that you want to like throw caution in the wind to.
Yeah.
You have that moment, you're like, oh my God, my best friend just dropped dead for no reason. All right, back to work.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like what does it take?
I mean, life is going to go on no matter what. Like you have two choices in life, to be okay or to not be okay. I think you really do have to like actively make that decision. But it's like, you know, Julianne's mom, Barbara, she was my second mom growing up. She would literally ground me. Like I would go to her house and she'd be like, y'all are punished. Go to Julianne's room together. And
you're like, sure, that's what we're going to do anyway.
Fuck off, Barb. Yeah. Barb. I actually was on the phone with her after Julianne, like a week after Julianne passed. And we were just like chatting. And I told her like how mean she actually was to us back in the day. I was like, do you realize, like, do you remember I would walk into your kitchen and you'd be like, oh, good, you're here. And she would like throw me like a rag. She'd be like, help me clean.
Nice.
Like, okay, Barbara.
That is such a Barb
She
thing.
was like, did I do that? I was like, yeah, you did that.
You were a fucking cunt, Barb.
And now she's just like, Julianne's gone. She doesn't have a daughter anymore. She had one.
Yeah.
And now she's not there. And even she throws herself into gardening. She like finds comfort in planting new flowers and experimenting with, you know, propagating two different, I don't know the word. I'm not a gardener. I wish I was.
Sounded good.
But she, like, that's what she is taking comfort in, planting flowers. And that's amazing and beautiful. But like some people don't know how to do that. Like she's waking up every day and choosing like, okay, like it's the day 85 without Julianne, like I'm gonna go plant another flower today. Or there's people that are just going to drink themselves to death over the grief. Like you really, I mean, my dad died of lung cancer. I smoke weed. I smoke a vape. You'd think
you would learn.
No, I in fact I smoked more.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
You know,
I drank a lot.
Or like, you know, your brother Pat, he had alcohol problems. You're able to work at a brewery.
Yeah. That was not good for a long time. Really? I was drinking a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How are you now? Moderate?
Honestly, my relationship with alcohol is crazy now. I don't even...
In a good way?
Yeah.
Nice.
I don't even have a taste. I'm going to probably have a beer today, but I don't even have like a taste for it, mainly because of sleep.
Less alcohol, better sleep.
My God. And if I get better sleep, then I'm better.
Don't tell me that. My sleep is awful.
I can't. When I don't sleep, and I noticed this actually during my grief, I learned how to nap during my like intense grief with my brother.
You said that. That's great.
I learned how to nap. I napped every fucking day, like from like noon to like noon 20 every day. 20 minutes. Like I could lay down and be asleep and wake up in 20 minutes and be fucking revved up and ready.
Best.
It was amazing.
Length nap that 20. You can take 20 minutes. That's all you need.
Yeah, it's power.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I was like, you know, my dad would check in and be like, how you doing today? And I'd be like, all dependent on sleep. Like if I don't sleep, then then I cry all day. But if I sleep well, sleep better, then I feel good and I feel at peace and I feel like okay with all this. But like it's so fucking crucial. I'm at the point now where I would rather have good sleep than like a buzz at fucking 8 p.m.
God, getting old and maturing is so boring.
So lame. I know,
so
fucking lame.
I know.
What do you have to say to me or to your dad or to anything? If you have, if he were listening or if you just wanted to say something, like what's something you want to say? I
would say to Dad, that's okay. You good?
Yeah, I'm good.
I'm sorry. I hate that he was so lonely. I wish I would have just called to say hi more. I wish I didn't dread it as much as I did at the time. Some conversations were really happy and I got off the phone like that was great. And some were so horrible that I hated it and didn't want to talk to him ever again. So I think I would say, I'm really sorry you were that. I didn't realize how lonely you were until I read your journals after you were gone. And I wish he had more company. I urge everyone that has the ability to call a loved one right now and hear their voice I really, really urge you to do that. And I know it just sounds so cliche, but like seriously, fucking do it and get all the stories out of them as possible and just listen to, get that experience and take advantage of the time and have patience for, don't be so hard on people. And I really wish my dad had more company at the end. He didn't deserve to be so lonely. And I don't think anyone deserves to be lonely. And I think you should just, if you can, like, make someone feel not lonely for even just 15 minutes of your day, I think you should fucking do it. And that's really it. I think that's what comes to mind when I think about him. I'm so sorry you were so lonely. I really am. It's so heartbreaking.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we're not lonely now.
No.
We're less lonely now.
I got my squishmallow.
You got Benny. You got a boat.
What would you say?
Yeah. Amen. Yeah, I agree. I think that's all great.
Yeah.
I think, part of this is also trying to put myself in a place of like, what do I want to tell myself? Mm-hmm. And that's all it. Like,
yeah.
I want to practice what I preach. I often don't. I want to be like, do all this and you got to do that and this, that, and the other and everything's going to be fine, dude. And it's just like, it's hard to do.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like, I like to just remind myself, you're doing well. Mm-hmm. You still got a lot of life ahead of you. Mm-hmm. Do what you want. Relax. It's like none of it's that serious. Like I think losing people, you sort of gain this, like just sort of like you were saying, like almost like this humor for things, like this like cosmic humor. Like I feel like I can laugh at things and just take things a little bit less personally.
Yeah, life is so serious that it's very unserious.
Yeah.
I do.
It's kind of a silly goof. Goof fest
silly,
most of the
goofy.
time.
It doesn't matter.
None of it really
Literally.
matters. Treat people well, take care of each other.
Yeah. You're doing better than you think you are.
Yes. And that stupid fucking nagging voice in your head that's telling you like you suck and that like, whatever, like
everybody
even
hates
this.
you.
Yeah. Even this, I'm like, what's the point, dude? Nobody cares about any of this. This is stupid, but it's like, I have to get out of my own way and tell myself that I'm doing it for me and for you and for us. And the rest will be fine.
Even if one person listens, they're like, oh, yeah, goddamn.
Even if nobody listens.
Yeah.
Like you and I did it.
Yeah,
and
we
I think
did.
I think it's powerful stuff.
Yeah, thank you.
So,
cool.
Yeah, that's what I think.
You're doing better than you think you are, folks.
Yes, absolutely. We did an hour and a half.
Wow.
Nice work.
Thank you.
Anything else?
No, if I sound like an idiot, take it out.
You don't. I will send you, I'll go through it and scrub like, I don't think there's any dead air, but I'll scrub.
What was I talking about?
Yeah, which didn't really happen. But, and then I'll send you the raw thing. And I think.
Okay. Awesome. like Jesus in here.
Wow. Thank you for saying that.